Well, this past weekend, the national men's hockey team secured an 8th African crown and with it, World Cup qualification. It wasn't only the men's team, the women's team also secured another continental title and World Cup qualification with a 4-0 win over Ghana. The men beat hosts Egypt 5-1 in the gold medal match to ensure it was both men and women who will be on their way to the World Cup in Belgium and the Netherlands in August next year. Vice-captain Mustafa Kassim completed his hat-trick while Nicholas Spooner and Kelvin Davis added a goal apiece as South Africa continued their continental dominance. Joining us now is Devon, the interim head coach for the team. A very good morning and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Thanks for your time. Firstly, a massive congratulations.
Vaylen, thank you so much and thank you for having me on your newsroom this morning. Yeah, very excited and very happy to have qualified and going to the World Cup.
You took over the head coach role on an interim basis, and you had very little time to be able to prepare the team for actually going to Ismailia, where the tournament took place. Can you tell us what it was like during that transition and how you were able to get the best out of the team?
Vaylen, it's never easy to take over, in these circumstances. What made it a little bit easier is being part of the team and having been part of the staff, Also understanding the nature of AFCON and what it's like and what it can be and how difficult it is. And then knowing the makeup of the squad. And having worked with many of the players before and understanding the personalities, like you mentioned, we had very little time. So we focused on keeping it simple and what the essentials were going to be. Also, what was key for us is trusting the staff to get a job done. And then knowing the team will execute made it a lot easier for us.
How key were the two Kassim brothers? I mean, they're superstars for South Africa. Dayan, the captain, Mustafa, the vice-captain. They have that wealth of experience being able to play professional hockey in Amsterdam and just really been a revelation for the men's team in the last couple of years.
They're such a joy to have around the team environment and the team culture. Like you said, they're professional. They are so easy to work with. They are very, very coachable. And just good people. They're really good people. And I think our environment needs those kind of people. And so to work with them, they understand what AFCON is all about. They understand high performance sport. And they're just so committed and so engaged. And so it's really easy to have them around. And a real blessing.
Was it easy? Because we say an 8th continental crown. You guys make winning the continental championships so easy. But I know that you had a 3-3 draw against the Egyptians in the group stages before that final.
Yes. At 3-3, it was our second time together at AFCON. As a team or second match. And so understanding what Africa Cup is like in terms of the umpires. In the 3-3 draw, we had 9 cards in that match. And so we spent essentially 27 minutes with the man down. We got to a point in the game where we were 3 guys down and the Egyptians were running at us. And that was difficult for the guys. And we learned quickly that our discipline needs to be far, far better. And if we're going to compete in the final, we need to keep 11 guys on the pitch for as long as possible.
How are you going to take the experience in Egypt towards preparation for the World Cup so you guys are able to make a dent on the international stage and not just on the continental stage?
Vaylen, look, the learnings from AFCON, we had 5 debutants at this tournament, and the difficultness of competing at this stage, we quickly understood that we needed to defend a little bit better. We needed a pre-mark, and our set pieces were going to be critical for us, you know. Also, team culture is so important for us moving forward in the next 9 months. Going forward now, we are lucky to have India in a 3-test series in Cape Town from the 3rd to the 10th of December. We will also have Holland in mid-January coming out for 2 tests to South Africa and Cape Town again. And then we essentially got 7 months. What is interesting for us is that out of the 18 that we took to AFCON, 12 are based in Europe. So at the moment, working with clubs and teams in Europe to see if we can set up a training base for those 12 to 15 players who are based in Europe to get together at least once or twice a week and work towards a common goal, while the local players in South Africa work a little bit more with me, locally based.
What does it mean for South African hockey that we had both the men and women able to claim continental titles, something that they have done previously, but also qualify for the World Cup in a dominant fashion?
Vaylen, it's so important because it essentially marks the next 4 years for us. In terms of, one, there's just great national pride and so much excitement around the hockey community and the hockey public. It allows us to explore funding options. Hockey is in such a wonderful space. It is such a fast-growing sport for us in South Africa. And based at a school and working in schools, it is huge. And it allows the players to dream. It allows them to understand there is a future in the game. And it's something that they can work towards and focus on. And so we are so excited that we have the privilege and the opportunity. Like you said, we don't just want to compete in Africa and on our continent. We want to compete on the world stage. And this gives us a really nice opportunity to build towards the World Cup in 2026. But also LA 2028 is a big focus for us, and something that we want to strive towards.
Devon, you mentioned funding, that being able to win African titles for both the men and women and qualify for a World Cup is good because it puts out a good advert for hockey, which can invite sponsors and funders into the sport. How difficult has funding been? Because unfortunately, hockey has made the headlines for the wrong reasons over the last couple of years, not having funding, not being able to go and participate at major tournaments because of a big question mark around money.
It is extremely difficult for us. It hasn't changed, Vaylen, and it's not going to be a crutch for us either. If that's how it's got to be, you know, we put our head down. If funders and sponsors want to assist, we will be so grateful. But it's never been a big part of what we do and how we operate. And we make do with very little. And unfortunately, we can only participate so far, you know. Can you imagine if we did have good funding, what we can achieve with this team and with this country, and just knowing our personality as a country, what we can achieve. Our team, our players are now in international leagues and well experienced. So much more if we just had time together as a team and can play more international games. But unfortunately, it comes at a cost. So we make do with what we have.